Well, let's look at some of the other features of the Cushman. Up here, because Classic Showcase had it around, they put the Smith's tachometer in here. This doesn't work because it's probably a 4-cylinder or 6, probably 4-cylinder Smith's tach. It fills the hole. There's a actual Cushman hole filler to the left. You'll notice little notices on here reminding you to set the parking brake. And that this is a motorcycle, so you have to follow motorcycle rules. You might find that nobody's going to give you a hard time about a helmet. There is the type number, serial number, and then down here you see the parts data, mostly for the old engine and for other items not on this one, like a transfer case. These could be had with PTOs, things like that. It was originally U.S. property, so it was probably a little runabout on an Army base. You'll notice we have a cigarette lighter here, real handy, but you could charge your phone with it, I would imagine. That is the headlight switch, real easy. Up here we have a windshield wiper. The original windshield wiper for the Cushman was no good. I found this from, I think, a Jeep site, and cobbled it back in there, but it works great. I had to come up with a whole bunch of different parts to make that work, and then rewired it as well because there was something there. By the way, there's the axle ratio sticker. You have little starting instructions, most of which no longer apply. So let's get out, squeeze my large frame out of here. I'm 6'2" and fat, but I still fit in this Cushman very well. Once I get in, it's kind of like driving an MGTC for me. I love them, but it's hard to get in. So headlights on. I don't have the switch on, that would help. Turning the switch on, lights the headlights. And of course you've got high and low beam here. I don't know if that's indicated anywhere. Yes, it is. There's your high beam indicator right up there. So super high beams from the seal beam headlight. Turn signals. I think the switch has an accommodation for a hazard. I don't think there's a relay here for the hazard. There's the turn signal on the left. Turn signal on the right. Yes, I promise I'll show you the wiper in action. It's probably going to squeak. No, it worked perfectly. There it goes. It doesn't automatically park though. It's not that sophisticated. So basically those are your things that the Cushman does. Let's just see if the hazards flash. We have hazard lights. I guess the relay's in that switch. Look at that. For all the times that hopefully this Cushman does not break down, you've got hazards. And then here, you've got, I covered these with a Jeep material, or a Chevy truck material, I think. You've got your little irons, chains rather, for the, and this has been, the hooks are covered so not to tear up the paint. And then I'm trying to remember. Yeah. No. It may just be sticky, but I thought there was a way that, there it goes. Yeah, it's just sticky. And then you have to put the, pardon the video there for a second. You have to put these back in. And then you've got your load bed. We're not going to do the other one. But there's a load bed, not to be used as a step when your friends get in it. So, in recap, we have high and low beams, we've got hazards, we've got a cigarette lighter, we've got headlights, which I've now turned off. By the way, I can't take it off right now because I'm on a slope, but that is the parking brake, and the parking brake works on a little rod actuated caliper, not on the wheel brakes, but on the drive shaft, and the drive shaft has a disc on it. So I actually replaced all of that because all that hardware was in really, really tough shape. So all the brakes have been done, the engine has been changed, The transmission, took it apart, resealed it, found it to be good. That little gear grind in the driving video was pilot error, trying to not go down into second, kind of going in between and making noise. Great little work in Cushman. The Kohler, of course, has a little alternator built in to the engine, and it charges the very large battery back here. You'll see this in pictures as well. But we've got a big interstate battery tied down in there. Just a little bit of undercar video here as well. Shock absorbers were painted during the restoration. I did not replace the shocks. They're working great. So there's your walk around little functions and options video on the Cushman. But wait, there's more. In my excitement about the hazard lights, I forgot a few things. Back to the Cushman. Thought it was important to point out that, listen to that fuel pump relay. We have a horn, okay, real important. We also have fuel and charging gauges. The fuel gauge is working its way back up since I cut the key on. The tank's almost full, I think. It's on a slope, so it could be doing all kinds of things, but right now it's ticking its way back up, having got power to it. So both of those gauges work just great. The battery's fully charged, so it doesn't show any amp charging if you picked up on that during the video. Also, because this model used to or could have two little doors on it, it has 360 air conditioning. So 1, 2, 3. Of course, it doesn't go 60. So let's call it 330 air conditioning or 340 air conditioning. That sounds a lot better. So you've got, in recap, everything I showed you before, plus the cowl vent. Works on this real super fancy little rod here. Closes it down. Beep, beep. Those gauges. If I left anything out, just tell me in the comments and I'll clarify the point. But I think we've gone over just about everything on the little 77 Cushman Truckster.